What's going on? Me? Swear? No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Never.
Never did I swear on the hockey rink ever.
No, never. Oh, what a finish, eh? Chaos.
I mean, that game just became about survival. After losing 2 forwards in the first period and playing 3 hockey games in less than 72 hours, like, my goodness. You could see the cement legs starting to show up, everyone kinda losing half a step. Washington looked like the much more rested team in the 3rd period there and pushed very hard to try and, tie this one up. Uh, some defensive issues, obviously, with the exhaustion, right? I mean, even Quinn Hughes making mistakes. Um, I think the Chikrin goal, Hughes gets sucked up to the blue line, way out of position, which super uncharacteristic for him. Left Mancini kind of on an island back there. The power play goal that Washington got, obviously, I mean, Demko with a huge save off the first one, but no one there to pick up the rebound because Hronik kind of left the backdoor guy wide open. I don't know why he left that check. Um, Less danger of that guy with the puck in the slot and more likely for someone to be able to collapse on him than that guy at the back door. That's Hronik's check. So just some mental errors from the top blue line guys. You know, the whole Wilson retribution thing becomes an afterthought when you lose 2 forwards. Like, no one was going to go after him because you can't afford to have another forward in the box for 5 minutes. I know Mancini fought Duhaime, which was good. Great to see Mancini kind of stepping up there. Duhaime's likely trying to get his team going. They were down 4-0 at the time. So you knew something maybe was going to happen. It's nice that, cooler heads prevailed with the whole Wilson situation because, looking back, a little bit late. Yes, should have been 2-minute interference penalty. It's not a dirty hit. It was just late timed. Wilson probably should have held up. The refs probably should have called a 2-minute penalty. Obviously, we wish all the best to Hedel. I want to just say, after that performance in the last minute and a half, PD haters that don't recognize the other facets of his game that make him extremely valuable. And if you want to tell me that guy's not engaged or looks like he doesn't give a shit, please just watch this game. Confidence doesn't regrow overnight, but he has shown growth through pretty much every game this season. And if they don't lose 2 forwards early in this game, I'm quite certain that PD has maybe 2 or 3 goals in this game instead of just the one. A lot of this game became, again, about defense after they were up 4-0 and just hanging back. And unfortunately, it's tough, right? They were tired. But Garland and PD need to be stapled together. It's brought another gear to PD's game because, he sees someone going in and working in the corners, which then makes him want to do it more often because he doesn't have to do it all the time. And, by an unfortunate reason, Besser having to miss the game for personal reasons, DeBrusk and Besser finally split up, and you saw there was way more chemistry to the forward lineup at first. And then obviously losing 2 of them early, it kind of threw off the rest of the game. But a very hot start. We saw that chemistry starting to grow, which was really nice to see.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you were to sit down before this game started and tell me, number one, Brock Besser is going to be pulled out of lineup like moments before the game starts. Number 2, Hedel and Leckermarky are both going to leave the game with injury. And number 3, it's going to be a 9:30 start on the East Coast, right? All of those factors tell me 100% of the time the Vancouver Canucks lose that game. They did not lose. It was a nail biter at the end. But at the end of the day, this is about as gritty of a win as the Vancouver Canucks have had in a very long time to make sure that they stay perfect on the road trip and come out with 2 points in Washington, which everyone, again, like Dallas, was like, no way they beat Dallas. They beat Dallas. No way they beat Washington in the morning. They beat Washington. So this has to give this group a lot of confidence moving on into Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they beat the hard teams. You know, they
Yeah.
beat Dallas that was on a 5-game win streak. They beat Washington that was on a 4-game win streak. Absolutely. They looked flat as hell in the last half of this game, but you have to take into account the um extra factors that play into that. Like the losing two forwards from your second line in basically the first 20 minutes of this game is really tough sledding. Like, and you've already played a back-to-back on Thursday, Friday. You're on the East Coast, like you said. Like, we got to cut them a little slack for the defensive errors. Like, I'm not trying to dissect this game. Like, I'm looking at this as a big win because in the third period, that was 100% about survival.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
you know,
even to look at it, that Teddy Blueger goal in the second period to start, right? That is one of Teddy's probably biggest goals for the Vancouver Canucks because he comes out and he makes sure that the Canucks are 4 goals ahead, ends up being the game winner. What did you see from Teddy Blueger in his second game back in the lineup?
I saw some really great things, but like someone's bringing up, he didn't play the last 6 minutes of the game, so that's obviously concerning.
I beg your pardon?
uh, yeah, like Teddy wasn't out there for the last 6 minutes by the sounds of it, and I wasn't really
Oh,
paying
okay.
attention because I was like holding my breath basically.
Hard to be on
Which again,
Twitter holding your breath.
if that happens, we're getting real thin up the middle, and you know, oh, it's gonna force Alvin to maybe make a trade tomorrow. Like if like we may have to be forced to do something here.
We'll have to wait and see what the news is on Blueger, but obviously the game is just still fresh over, so it's hard to say what the situation is. But if you lose 2 centers from this organization, maybe we don't see it very often, but maybe we do see a man like Braden Coots getting the call back up, right? They talked about that. He goes down, but I mean, you might also look at Almond coming up, but I don't know. Probably rather have Coots than Almond coming up here.
Well, like yeah, honestly, Coots maybe in a second line role where he doesn't have to be as much of a checking player with some veterans on the wing with him. Like, oh man, we need to not panic because we obviously need to hear the injury reports. Clearly, Heedle's going to miss some time. I mean, let's be real. Got his bell rung. There's no way he's not coming out of that with a concussion. I just the way he looked like the same as last year when he got hit by Dickinson, when he knows the feeling. He's had enough of them. And you could tell he was like, ah, man, really? Again? Was basically the vibe I got from him.
Yeah.
Needed help to get off the ice. Couldn't do it under his own power. If you're winded, you can generally like bend over and skate under your own power.
Yeah.
When you can't get your feet under you, uh, usually a concussion. And
Well, I mean,
that's
you could see it, right? The way he
yeah.
crumpled forward, right? Even if it was a shot from shoulder to shoulder, his head still comes down and still takes the impact as well. So, and if your head's snapping like that, that's what happens. I do actually have a clip here. Vic Nazar has posted this on his Twitter account. So this is actually Teddy Blueger at the end of the game. So I'll play this for everyone so they can see it. So the puck comes down into the zone. I actually might make this like this. Yeah, you can see it better. So look down here. Teddy Blueger goes down over here, and then he's wincing when he gets up. So that's the play. You can see it's with just over 6 minutes left to go in this game. So all of a sudden, it looks like Teddy Blueger might be out. But we'll have to wait and see. Like we said, we don't want to panic. Nobody panic yet. But obviously now 2 centers down, which is not a great look for us with the center depth that we had. Connor Garland, once again, I want you to give him some props because he was still spinning around out there. Like I said, got his 5th assist of this game. Pettersson and Garland stapled them together for the rest of the year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can't separate those two. I think they've found some chemistry, which is good. It's added some jump to Petey's game, and even DeBrusque looked pretty good tonight, moving the puck well. He's got to get his head up a little more, make some quicker decisions. If he's gonna make a pass, he's got to make it sooner. He got in a little too deep on a couple of odd man rushes there, where he could have moved the puck across and created a little more dangerous chance. But he does kind of get tunnel vision for the net. But some positive things. When DeBrusque gets hot, he tends to get hot for a while. So maybe again, I think that top line, DeBrusque, PD, Garland, it probably buries a couple extra goals tonight if they don't lose the other two forwards.
Evander Kane. There was a lot about his game to start that I liked, but then he makes an insane drop pass at his own blue line when they're trying to finish the game off. Is that just we just have to expect that sometimes I'm going to be like, yeah, Evander Kane, and sometimes I'm going to be like, Evander Kane.
Exactly. I mean, that's his game. We gotta you live and die with it. He just shouldn't be out there in those situations. And obviously, with a very thin bench, you have to go with who you have, and you got to look at okay, he's veteran, but he does make those questionable decisions, right? And there was two in a row where he could have very easily gotten it out of the zone, but he's thinking get an empty netter, whereas the rest of the team is thinking don't give up another goal,
Yeah.
right? And so he just needs to learn to shift that mentality a little bit in games like this. But the fact that we survived and got the win, we can. I'm not saying excuse it. We can be
Yeah.
relieved that it didn't cost us. But normally I don't see him being out there in that situation. As one of the extra bodies when we're checking a 6-on-5. It's just the bench got pretty thin. Blueger obviously hurt or banged up at the end of the game, can't be available for some defensive play. You don't want Abby out there in that. You don't want the full Abby line out there in the last minute. They were looking tired as well. So you just have to go with what you go with. And unfortunately, Kane was that guy. And yeah, it was tough to watch. And that last minute, I was holding my breath probably the full minute, but found a way to get it done. And like we've said lots of times, there's no pictures on the scorecard. That's just another W, and we move forward on to Pittsburgh.
So we're going to have a new segment on the show called What's Up, Doc? And we're going to talk about Drew O'Connor because I feel like there was parts of his games that I liked. I liked the fact that he was on the third line, but there were still multiple chances that went to die like he's McCabe out there. So even in his third line role, did you like a little bit more what he did, or are you still upset the fact that he had a breakaway and made it look like a muffin out there?
Well, I mean, no, I like him more in a third line role, right? Like it more fits his game, but obviously you see that he just doesn't have the offensive prowess that we were, fooled into thinking he had and told he had. Like he just doesn't have that skill. Like you have a breakaway wide open, and you shoot it into the goalie's pads from above the hash marks. Like, you know, um, it just even when Dave Tomlinson was kind of talking about the replay, he's like, I guess he was going 5-hole or blocker. He couldn't tell, right? Because like there's no urgency to score with his game. It's weird, right? Like it's almost like he gets afraid of the net. He gets into some good situations because he is a big body. But I've said it 100 times, he plays small. And he's got to learn to finish in those situations, because if he's in a third line role and you're gonna get your odd look, right? But to make you a valuable full-time NHLer, you got to bury at least one of those chances he had tonight, because he had probably 2 or 3 other ones as well.
3 stars of the game. We're in Washington. Morning game. Canucks win 4-3. Chaos at the end. What do you think they said were the 3 stars of the game down there in Washington?
Oh, who knows? I mean, I'll tell you my 3 stars of this game are probably, like, I'm going probably Thatcher Demko as I wouldn't say first star, but definitely second star. I'd probably give First star to Tyler Myers because of the milestone goal, 100th
Mhm.
goal of the year, got an assist as well on the Blueger goal, and overall had a pretty strong game defensively. And then third star, um, as much as I hate it, like Tom Wilson had a good game, right? 2 assists, the hit, getting involved physically, like it's hard to say it, but that I would have given him probably third star in this game. And it's
Very close.
upsetting, I know, because of the situation. However, we have to look at this as like a non-biased thing, and he did have a good game.
Tyler Myers does get the first star with the goal and assist. Connor Garland getting the second star, 2
Okay,
assists. And they gave it to Jacob Chikrin with the 1 goal. So I guess they saw
sure.
something we didn't see, but sure, throw him a bone, give him
Yep,
something. I'm fine with Connor Garland too, like we talked about. He's always out there
yep,
grinding, so we're fine with that.
for sure.
Abby Canucks, we talked about them very briefly, but let's finish the update on them because they did finish their 2 game series against Laval yesterday. We talked about Vlander's goal. Let's talk about the Stillman incident because obviously in the first game, Stillman, unfortunate incident, headed on the ice by the player he was fighting. We didn't like the late hit that he gave him while he was on the ice. So game 2 starts the next day, and Stillman did answer the bell. Not a very good fight, but either way, they got the nonsense out of the way very early, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was no way that Stillman meant to hurt Didier, like, and also in the heat of the moment, he had no idea that Didier had hit his head on the ice, right? Like, it
Yeah.
happened so fast. But there is this kind of unwritten sportsmanship code when it comes to fighting. When you guys hit the ice, you stop throwing. That fight happened so fast, and it did start because Didier put Stillman in a headlock in front of the net for really no reason and was draped all over him. Didier was trying to start the altercation. Um, they paired off to try and fight, and Didier lost his helmet. They just wrestled and lost their balance together. I know there's a lot of talk online about the sucker punch and awful thing that Stillman did, but I'm not trying to defend it. He shouldn't have thrown the punch, right? Like, but I can see why he threw it. Is I'm just trying to play devil's advocate in the sense of like this happened really fast, and I
Yeah.
watched it live during the game because I was watching the game, and I was like, oh man, that's an awful thing. Stillman knew as soon as he knew that something happened, he backed off. Right, the ref jumped in, he backed off. Um, yeah, just an unfortunate thing. And then next game, takes on the younger Wi-Fi brother in Florian Chekai, and nothing. They mostly grappled and fell to the ice pretty quick, and that was kind of it. Uh, Laval got off to a quick 2-0 lead in this one, and but Abbotsford did battle back with 2 very nice power play goals in the second period. Vitaly Kravtsov making up for a really poor back check actually on one of the goals in the first period by wiring his first as an Abbey Canuck on the power play. An absolute rocket of a shot. They had originally credited it to Joe Labate on the rebound, thinking that the first shot hadn't gone in, but it definitely went in under the bar. And then, as we had talked about earlier, Tom Wielander getting his first goal as an Abbey Canuck as well, his first professional AHL goal. A nice wrist shot from the point, top corner. A really good look from him, and probably his best game of the year. Abbey, struggling right now because they have really no offensive talent. Ty Mueller left this game with a high stick
Mhm.
that hit that kind of cross check that knocked him out of the game. He was bleeding and had to get some work done, and I think just was pretty rattled. Maybe broken jaw. Oh, like there hasn't been a big update on him, but likely wasn't coming back for that game. And he's really like the main offense we got right now. Um, the top line, I liked what I saw from Henri Ravinsky in this one. A lot of speed and a lot of promising stuff, but obviously some big shoes to fill when your entire top line is now playing in the NHL. you lose a lot really fast. So Abby playing kind of like a scrappy wait for your moments game. And as they were kind of trying to make a breakout, Kirill Kudryavtsev tried to pass a puck out front, um, caught Tolopilo in the skates, and it ended up in the back of the net. Lucas Condotta was right there and managed to poke it in. Just an unfortunate play. Abby couldn't get a goal back with the goaltender pulled. They gave up 2 empty netters late in the game. And so losing this one 5-2 to Laval, but a very valiant effort against a strong Laval team. When you break down the lineups from last year, when Laval brought 15 players back to this game, and Abby had 5 returning players from last year's lineup. So, pretty lopsided in where 2 organizations are at in the AHL. The Canucks are in a weird transition here where all their prospects are making it at once, which I had a feeling was going to be an issue for them because they just refused to kind of give guys an opportunity for so long. And now they're in this situation where the cupboard's kind of empty when it comes to injury fill-ins. We likely see maybe a Joe Labate come up as a grinder role. Maybe we see Sasson moved up to the second line center position. There's going to have to be some creativity here, given that they don't really have a lot to pull from. And I think Sasson would probably do just fine in a second line center role to fill in for a little bit here while they kind of get their ducks in a row and understand how long Heedle's going to be out. And that allows them then to bring up Oman in an emergency injury call up, and then they won't have to put him through waivers. And then he can fill in a fourth line center role, which we know he's capable of doing. And then, that kind of covers a little bit of the issue. Besser hopefully is back in Pittsburgh. We obviously don't know the extent of the personal reasons why he had to miss this game. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Besser's been through the ringer when it comes to his personal life. We all know what happened with his dad, Duke, and how ill he got and losing his life quite young, and Besser having to deal with that as a young man. So all the best to Besser. Hopefully we see him back here soon and it's nothing too crazy. But yeah, Abby off to a 2-2 start, losing 2 to Laval, unfortunately, but we'll have to see what happens now with the Canucks. Abby's next game is their home opener, where it will be the banner raising ceremony. So we'll have to see what kind of lineup they have left after the Vancouver Canucks poll. Like, there's going to be some moves made tomorrow. Rest assured, Canucks fans. There will be some stuff going on with Chef Alvin.
Yeah. Got the banner raising night, Friday, October 24th, 7 p.m. It's going to be another one of the Abbotsford Canucks games that we will be covering here fully on Nothing is Perfect. We're going to have 2 guests joining us live from Abbey to come on to show us the inside of the stadium. We're going to have both Canucks Land and Scott Spitter joining us from the stadium. So that'll be a fun night to see the banner go up. And we'll see. I might try and sneak the feed onto the stream with the banner raising, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to get in too much trouble here on YouTube. But we'll wait and see. But it should be a fun night coming up on Friday this week.
For sure.
Pittsburgh Penguins will be starting Artur Shilovs against the Vancouver Canucks. How terrifying is that? Does that mean he's going to get a shutout against us?
It might, but also they know all his weaknesses. I mean, shoot from the point and get traffic in front, right? Shoot high.
Yeah. I hope that works. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks like Shilovs gets to start, so that should be fun. But yeah, it'll be a 4:00 start. We'll be live for that. Dustin, I did see one question in chat. Okay, Calvin 99 Charlie says, is Klimovich waiver exempt?
I don't believe so. I believe he was one of the guys that would have required waivers had they kept him up. I think he cleared waivers quite early in the preseason, if I recall. I'll have to double check. Actually, I can check right now. I can bring it up on Puckpedia.
Yeah. And then while you're doing that, you can also think about People's First Yukon asks, what is your favorite player on the Canucks right now?
Oh, my favorite player on the Canucks right this second has got to be Connor Garland. Just everything he's done to energize what seems like the entire forward core, just by leading by example. I'm fully of the mind that he deserves an A on his jersey and needs to have more of a leadership role on this team. Uh, and his contract is going to age like fine wine, let me tell you.
I like the sounds of that. Let's see here. Where is our man Klimovich?
No,
Oh,
his
he is.
waivers exempt. So Klimovich would be a good call up to make, actually.
Yeah, big body too, so it should be interesting to see. Depends on
Yeah.
what they need, because right now, right now, we had no Besser, no Leckermacki, no Hedel, and no Blueger at the end there. So 4 players missing from that game. So there might be a lot of call-ups coming.
Yeah, I would like to see Klimovich get a call up. He does look a little disinterested being stuck in the AHL this year. He did a lot. He did grow a lot last year. He does have a wicked shot, a right-handed shot, so he could come in a bigger body than Leckermacki. So, I think given the opportunity, he might find that spark maybe if he gets a shot in the NHL this year. He just does look a little disengaged to start the year down in Abbotsford, which is unfortunate because he did see some hard growth last year. And especially watching, the rest of your boys that you worked so hard to win a Calder with kind of move on without you.
Yeah.
The Canucks in the intermissions did a interview or talked about an interview done with Max Sasson, and he said the same thing. The him getting sent down while Carlson and Baines stayed up was a tough pill to swallow, but he on the flip side took the most of it and scored in the first 2 games of the season and scored in his first 2 games called up with the Canucks, whereas Klimovich kind of faded into the background after he got sent down. So we'll have to see what happens. A lot of tough decisions. It might involve a call up of Riley Pettersson up to Abbotsford from his junior club. He's off to a good start this year in juniors, so that's nice to see his growth continuing. I really liked his preseason and camp, and well, I guess they can't even call him up to Abbotsford. He's only 19, so he's not 20 yet.
Oh,
So
perfect.
they maybe have to call him up to the NHL. We'll see. But he's off to a really good start, and I did want him to get a longer look. Yeah, like I said, so many questions, no real answers until we know how long some of these guys are going to be out. But yeah,
Calvin
to
99 Charlie
answer the
says,
question,
yeah, answer the question. Come on, answer the question.
Klimovich can come up.
Yeah. And then Calvin 99 Charlie says, I hope Irvin gets his question answered. So we will ask it. This will be the last one that we ask you, Dustin. So this is from Sir Irvin. Dusty, is the Rutherford pipeline objectively any better than Gillis or Bennings?
I think it's got potential to be better. Benning didn't really have a pipeline. That's the problem. Is he traded away so many draft picks that Alvin inherited the mess. And so we are seeing that gap in where the first kind of prospects or last kind of prospects that Benning drafted are starting to make the jump, and the first prospects that Alvin has drafted are starting to move now into the AHL. So, there's still a lot of time to even be able to determine which set of prospects are better. But looking at some of the players that are in junior right now, Parker Alcos, a 6th round pick in 2024. He does need to bulk up, but another right-handed defenseman that looks like he could have been a diamond in the rough. I mean, he's off to a +12 start this season. He's got 4 assists, I think, and just playing great hockey. So that's another, embarrassment of riches on the blue line potentially. We all know what Braden Coots potentially can bring. I'm really high on that Riley Patterson as a
Mhm.
gritty top, bottom, kind of a middle six center. Um, Maybe the potential at a second line C, but a really really high upside 3C for that kid. We have, Vilmer Ulrichsen, who is 6'6" and just getting his feet wet at the professional level. I do want to see him learn to use his size a little more effectively. He plays a very European game still, and if he can get more into the North American style, working with the coaching staff in Abbotsford, then he could be an extremely valuable power forward in our top six going forward because he does have the hands and the skill. He's very big with very good mitts and has the potential to be like a Todd Bertuzzi if he can utilize his size correctly. So I would have to say, looking at our potential prospects right now, that Alvin is doing a much better job stocking the cupboard than Benning. But Benning didn't really have any draft picks to use to stock the cupboard. So um, yes, the future looks brighter right now than it ever did under Benning as GM.
Anything you want to say to chat before I let you go?
Oh, appreciate you as always. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Sunday morning. 3-0 to start this road trip where we were questioning what we would even get. That was a gritty win. I know they didn't look great for the last half of that game, but we have to cut them a little slack given the schedule and the loss of two top six forwards early in the game. So props to them for hanging in there. I'm sure Foot would have liked to see better defensive structure in the third period, and he'll likely say that in his post game. But I'm sure he's going to be awfully proud of the boys for gutting this one out and getting the full 2 points and just moving on to Pittsburgh, getting some rest and getting rested up and seeing what they can build with with healthy bodies here for what is it, Tuesday night?
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be the first Tuesday night. We don't have the Be a Prod game because we will have the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Canucks. So, but yeah, we'll see Dusty there and enjoy. It looks like it's might be getting a little sunny out there, Dusty. So I don't know what the weather's like in Chilliwack, but maybe enjoy your afternoon.
Absolutely. We'll have to have a look. I know it's been pretty miserable all morning, so hopefully the sun peaks out here soon too.
Dusty, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday with your beautiful family.
You as well. We'll talk to you on Tuesday night.
Nothing is perfect.